we are for the debut show of the Briggs and Brown show. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's get it. I'm here with the guys at the CHGO Sports Studio. Post-game show number 2 of the day. Bears pull off a miracle victory. Kind of felt like the Monday night miracle. The miracle on the lakefront this time, not in Arizona, but the Bears will play in Arizona later this year. So
yes, they will.
Going to be a wild season. It's already off to a wild start. But, hey, welcome to the family here at CHGO Sports.
Yes.
You guys are a welcomed addition, a huge upgrade. And for me personally, it is certainly an honor to sit alongside you guys. So, hey, man, let's let it rip. I mean, you guys were at the stadium today, right? You guys got to take it in. So let's start there before we get into some of the players. What was the energy like at the stadium and the vibes that you guys were feeling?
For me, the energy, it's number one, it's unreal. It's you haven't seen this kind of excitement from from Chicago in a long time, but the hype, I think, is – I don't want to say it's unfair because we're all grown men. You get drafted where you get drafted and you bring in what you bring in and all the things that, all the players that have run it, receivers and everything, and bolstering this team. And on paper, it's like, okay, we have a championship team here. However, we still have a rookie quarterback that's coming in, and regardless of what we look like on paper, doesn't mean that it transfers onto the field in the way that we want it to. Right. So, I've always said, let's wait and see. It may not happen the way that we all think is going to happen right away, but the way that the paper reads, it will happen. It just may not happen at the speed we want it, and for that first half, that's exactly what was reading. It was like, oh, shoot, and I can hear certain people saying, oh, man, all right, let's sell the season. It's over. Sell the season. It's over. This and that. It's over. But that's not the case. And I do think that this is a team that especially offensively, as the season goes on, they're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger.
For sure. I definitely see that. I see what you were talking about as far as the excitement from Chicago. It's insane, man. We saw this excitement when not even 05. We made the playoffs in 05, and we didn't see this because nobody really thought we were gonna be that good coming off that 04 season, right? But the 06 season, you saw that excitement. You saw where everybody was talking about this team, hey man, we got a shot. And back then it was a shot to win it, right? Yeah. Right now, I think it's just a breath of fresh air to know that, we got a shot we may have found the guy, right? We spent so many years looking down at Indianapolis, looking at Peyton Manning, looking up to that green team up north, looking at Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers and now Love. And you look at other teams that have this quarterback, and when you feel like you found them, you're like, holy shit, man, I think we got him. I think we may have gotten this right this time. And to come out and see the performance that they had today, I mean, it leaves you a little damper, right? It leaves you a little bit. You're like, you're wanting for more. But when you can do that and win, that means you got more of a team than just that one player. You know what I mean? As great as Peyton Manning was, he still won 3 games his first year. Yep. You know what I mean? Won 3 games. Come on. We have we have a lot of help for this young kid, for Caleb. He's a rookie. And I think Eberflus kept saying that in his press conference. It was just, hey, he's a rookie. Let's relax. Let's not compare him to Fields. People, that's what they're going to do. People,
100%. And Patrick Mahomes. And Mahomes. And CJ.
But when Mahomes came in and played, he had a year in the league, and then he came out and played, right? We're throwing this kid in from the get-go, and we're expecting him to be great. And I still expect him to be great. I'm not backing off of that. I still think he will be great. I just think today, that was a defensive line that can get after you, as far as the Titans. And then the defense didn't help. Giving up the points, special teams didn't help with Velas. Didn't help fumbling that kickoff. It's just certain things didn't help. Now, when everybody started doing their job, and the offense didn't change from first half to second half, right? The offense was still sputtering, if you will,
all the way through.
Just all the way through. What changed was the special teams and the defense changed. And now you see how good this team can be. That's without the offense. Think if the offense was halfway through, right?
Sure.
Going on 2 cylinders, not all cylinders, but 2. We weren't going on any. It was brutal watching that today. But when they get going, we're talking about a 38-17 type of football game, and we win that game easily, right? So I think we're headed that way. I think that Caleb has that ceiling. He has that talent, and I think the talent is around him. It's just a matter of putting it all together.
Well, you guys have kind of been through this a few different ways, right?
Yeah.
You had Kyle Orton come in as a rookie, and he wasn't the most talented, but he figured out how to get first downs, right? Rex Grossman comes in, first-round pick, but he was flawed, right? And you guys had to pick up the offense a lot of ways. You guys picked it all the way to the Super Bowl, almost won it, right? And then you had Jay Cutler come in as a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yep.
He comes in his first year and throws, 26
interceptions?
picks?
A lot.
But eventually he figured it out. So, Alex, you said last year at the end of the season when we lost to the Packers, hey, I want a quarterback like that.
Yes.
And it's not just Jordan Love. It's just quarterbacks across the league, guys that can make plays, pinpoint, throw with anticipation, right? And we see it all across the league, and the Bears just never seem to have that guy. And we all felt that when you said that because that's something Bears fans were dying for. The Cubs had a 108-year curse, and the Bears had the curse of never being able to find a quarterback. So today was that reality smack because we're all like, we got our guy. Caleb's the dude. See him in preseason making plays. So I think that's kind of the difference, right, guys? Like, it's game one. It's a long way to go. But you got to believe that he has the kind of talent that's going to supersede some of these guys that you guys played with. And as this goes, this should get better.
I'm going to tell you this. I don't give a damn if you believe it or not. He has it. It's there. The talent is there. The kid is uber talented. We've seen him play with NFL receiver and Addison. When Addison was on that team at USC, he won the Heisman. Then he had Jerry Rice's son, who was, I think, a 7th-round pick, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a free agent. And everybody talks about he had a down year. The kid threw for 31 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. How the hell is that a down year? No, the kid is good. He's really good, and he's on our team. And he's only going to get better from wherever you think he is right now. He's only going to get better. There's no reason not to be excited.
I've seen a lot of talent in our years of playing football.
At the quarterback position?
At the quarterback, I've seen a lot of talent. I have. I've seen a lot of talent.
On the other side of the field.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I didn't say as a Bear.
Okay. All right.
But I've seen a lot of talent. And so, and I've seen a lot of talented players. Talent doesn't always reach that potential, the potential that you're looking for, and there's a lot of factors that come in.
Right.
We've played with guys that came out that came out their rookie year and had massive years, led the team with 7, 8, 9 picks, and end up going to the Pro Bowl, and was an All-Pro, and then you start to see that play start to decline, and you're like, what's going on? Why is there a decline in your play? But you came out this way, and and for a number of reasons, everybody has their own reasons, but the play is not consistent. What we need from him is to consistently get better and better each week.
Build that chemistry.
I don't care how talented you are. Seeing talented players come, seeing talented players go. You have to be consistent in this league. If you're not consistent or learn how to become consistent, you're going to wash out.
You need talent, though.
Continuity is key, too, right? When you guys look, because Jay Cutler in the year 2013, when you guys had a first-year offense, Mark Trestman comes in. A lot of talent all across the board. Martellus Bennett, Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall. Took time to figure it out, but, hey, at the end of the day, it's a matchup league, right? When you got guys that can win their matchups, they're going to eventually find a way to make plays. Difference is you got a rookie quarterback here that's got to take time to figure that stuff out, right?
And when you throw the ball, here's the thing. When you throw the ball a lot, your tendencies show up. Defensively, we're looking for your tendencies. And if you have a Brandon Marshall on your team that wants the ball 20 times a game, it's not hard to figure out what your tendencies are. Okay, so you're going to come out firing, whoa, man, these guys are putting up 300, 400 yards. That's what we were doing. We're putting up 300, 400 yards a game. We weren't scoring much, okay? Because when you have a guy like Brandon Marshall that wants the ball all the time, there's a heavy flow of the footballs that are going to go to him.
Right.
So for us, when we're preparing, what does he run? When he lines up, if he's at slot, if he's at the X, if he's at the Z, where is he? What routes are we running? That's what we have to defend. We defend that. We stop them.
Yeah. I have nothing because I didn't play for that Trestman era.
Yep.
I'm glad I didn't play for that team. Shit,
Well,
I ain't want nothing to do with that.
Well, and one of the
locker
other
room.
things when you talk about that team and the 2006 team was the offensive line continuity.
Yes.
Both teams, their offensive line started the entire season. I don't know if that's going to happen for this team. It's tough to make it through a whole season. It's a brutal sport.
It's tough to make it through when your name is Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis.
Yeah. And Nate was already on the bike here today.
Right.
And Tevin, when he's healthy, he's the most talented offensive lineman arguably on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a rough day today.
So, is that like unheard of, like making it through the whole season?
It seems to
rare.
be nowadays.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you, like I said, in 2013, Kyle Long was a rookie. You had Mills, Jordan Mills. You had Jermon Bushrod.
Yep.
Matt Slauson started all 16 games, and that was statistically the best offensive team I've ever seen as a Chicago Bears fan from the stands. So that's one of the biggest keys too. Caleb's got to have trust on that offensive line. Coleman Shelton was getting blown up today, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, what were you guys, when you guys saw that? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's that I knew that the Titans. When you think about the Titans, you don't really nothing scares you. Honestly, from the offensive side, nothing scares you.
Right.
And they added some pieces. They added Ridley. You have the
DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins. You have him, but ain't nothing really scares you from that team because you got Levis throwing the ball to him. The running back position, not really terrified of Pollard. So
Spears.
it's like, or Spears, like, okay. But the defensive side, they've always been, ever since the last coaching regime left, they've always been a talented defensive football team. You knew that defensive line was good. And if we have any questions on this particular football team, it is at the offensive line position. It is at those positions, right? So you got a team that comes in with a good defensive line. Yeah, you're gonna struggle a little bit if they can't block them because that doesn't allow the other guys to do their job. The receivers now got to get open quicker. The quarterback has to throw the ball quicker. The quarterback gets off his spot where he's comfortable dropping back, and I got to deliver the football a little faster now.
Listen, that Joker Sweat on the Titans is he's a force.
Sweat out of Texas.
He's a force.
Yes, he is.
And he threw Tevin to the side. I actually am more impressed with his footwork than I am kind of anything else. I looked at him more in the Vince Wilfork mode, but the swipe and rip up, then getting to the second level as fast as he did, that was impressive. That's very athletic. Guys don't move like that. That's not normal for guys that size to move like that.
Yeah, they're going to get tested again next week with the Texans.
See, we're a better football team than them. We are.
Correct.
And we came out the second half after we stopped making mistakes. Offense still didn't do anything like we said earlier.
Right.
But we had 2 of the 3 phases actually show up.
Yep.
And the 2 of the 3 phases, you got the special teams start to show up.
Yes.
They made plays. Then the defense shut them down.
Yep.
They stopped all that nonsense. They started to get after the quarterback.
Yep.
They scored on you score on defense. You have to score on defense. You got to get takeaways. You got to score on defense. If they can continue this play, you're not going to get a touchdown every single game from the special teams. You're not going to get it.
Right.
But if you can get big plays from the defense, from the special teams, and when the offense does chip in their 20, 23 points a game,
right?
I mean, it's gonna be very hard to beat this team. And that's just me looking at it and not making a decision after one damn game.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That we won. I'm not going to sit up here and act like we lost the game. No, we won the game.
Apologizing for it.
No, hell no. We won the game.
Block punt for a touchdown. First time that's happened here since 2012. Our guy Corey Wooten against the Titans taking it in. And then to your point about the defense having to get touchdowns, 22 interceptions, led the league last year. And people say, well, sometimes turnovers and interceptions don't carry over year to year. Well, they got 2 in the bank already. Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson with a couple interceptions. We're going to get to the defensive adjustments here as we take a quick timeout, but make sure you're hitting the like button here for the debut of the Briggs and Brown show. They're going to be on tomorrow with the one and only Mark Carman here in studio at noon, and we're going to get the Professor Briggs' grades here.
Grades are coming. Grades are coming.
Our grades are a little different. Usually a little different.
Yes.
He's a good
AB is typically more lenient, in some shape or form, But the prep. Listen, and so just so you know, hey, grades are all final. Okay, you can comment on it. You can say what you want, but grades are final. All right, it is what it is.
Well, I always cheated on my test. So, But yeah, make sure you're hitting the like button. And hey, want to give a quick reminder to everybody that's tuning in. If you're tuning in for the first time here at CHGO Bears, we do these every single day, 5 days a week at noon. We go live for any breaking news. We're pre and post game shows every single game day. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up here this season, and now is as good a time as ever to become a diehard at CHGO Sports.
Yes.
Go to allchgosports.com/diehard. You can become one now, and you get a free shirt right out the gate when you do, 20% off all merchandise and events. Like our tailgates. We had an unbelievable tailgate. You guys are going to have to come through to our tailgate. We're at the
100%.
corner of Wabash and Cermak. It's wild. There was thousands of Bears fans there today. It was awesome. A lot of fun.
What are they serving up over there?
We got Miller Lite on hand.
Okay,
We got Firewater barbecue. All you can eat. We got all the vibes.
Brisket.
Yeah, dude. It's a good vibe with our guys over at the Chicago. Oh, dude. You get the brisket. You got the rib tips. You got the pulled pork. You got chicken. Dude.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Mac and cheese?
Mac and cheese.
Oh, they got
you
mac
got
and
it all,
cheese,
man.
too.
Dude, I'm telling you, come out to if you go to
man.
allchgo.com/events, you can get your tickets, sign up there. You don't have to be a diehard to go, but if you do, you get a discount on that event. So a lot of different great things, premium written content by our guy Adam Hogue and many others here at CHGO Sports. So now let's transition over. I mean, any thoughts you ever want to, if you want to come back to the offense, hey, this is your show. You guys do whatever you guys want. But let's transition over to the defense. You know, we talked about the adjustments that were made. First half, I mean, they were kind of getting, the run game, they were getting beaten up pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then the adjustments came because I've been kind of keyed in on Matt Eberflus, like, hey, get your team ready to play. You've had some adjustment. You've kind of had this makeover here in the offseason. Everybody's gassing you up because you got this new look and new vibe. But I want to see it translate on Sundays. And it wasn't looking good in preparation standpoint in the first half. And then the defense made adjustments like you guys had many a times. And they were locked down in the second half.
When I look at the success that the Titans had in that first half, and just coming out, I think in the first game, there's a lot of I want to say experiment, but there's some experiment with what you think is going to work because you have for them, they're a new staff. They're a new staff, and they're coming in. They're saying, they have one of our old buddies over there, Chris Harris, who's a very smart coach over there defensively, but offensively, hey, listen, this is what I think that they're gonna. This is what I think they're gonna run, and this is what I think will work against that defense. And so I think in game one, it's going to be heavy adjustments because you want to see how they're going to attack you, and then and when you look at, like, let's say week 6. When you have all of this tape that shows you, okay, this is who they are and this is what we're going to run. Now if they don't run what we expect, then we'll make those adjustments. But they've shown us over the last 5 weeks this is who they are. In week 1, let's see what they're going to do, and then we're going to make our adjustments. So I thought Titans had a really good game plan in the beginning. I thought they had a really good game plan. I thought Bears made the better adjustments moving into the second half.
Yeah, I mean, they made adjustments. It took till halftime to make that adjustment. Now, what I want to see moving forward, I want to see those adjustments being made at the end of the first quarter and then in series. Like when you come off the field, you go 3 and out. You go 5 and out.
You on that deal?
Yes, absolutely.
What's happening? What are you seeing?
Like, I need you to be talking about it, and that's when you become a special defense. When you can make those adjustments during the game, right after a series, you can make that adjustment. You know what they're doing. You can come off, and the players can communicate with their position coach, with their DC, saying, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing. I know this is what we practice, but this is what I'm seeing out there."
Yep.
Like being able to make that adjustment there, not just waiting until halftime, right? So, but we did see it over the past few regimes. We hadn't seen those adjustments. We have not. Like, it's the same thing coming out of halftime, and we're scratching our head like, how the hell can y'all not see this? Like, I'm sitting on my couch and I see it. How can you not see it?
Right.
This is your job. You're being paid to see it.
Yep.
So, but like the adjustments were great. You saw the players coming out and they started to make plays. The guys in the first half, your one-on-one blocks. I'm just speaking about the D-line.
Yeah.
Your one-on-one blocks, you got to beat them. They weren't beating them in the first half. Started to beat them in the second half. They started to get games going in the second half that worked, where they were on different planes. When you're on the same plane running a game, the offensive line can just pass you off. They can pass you off if they're on the same plane. When you get on different planes, now it makes it harder for the offensive lineman to pass you off to the next guy. So
I was very proud of the LBs. I can tell you right now.
Of course you are.
You're
always proud of the LBs.
Right.
No
Recovered fumbles. We were all over the place, flying, making plays.
About Tremaine Edmonds on that 3rd and 1.
Come on now.
Stopping Spears.
Come on.
If he doesn't make that tackle, who knows how this game ends.
That's huge. One of the things that we talked about last year is him being in position and not finishing those plays, especially on 3rd downs. He was in position a lot of play opportunities last year on 3rd down, and we could have gotten the Bears off the field. And either he tackled the guy and he drug him for 3 yards, or he missed the tackle. You know, I love seeing on the very first game of this year of 2024 that not only is he in position, but he's making those plays, and he's helping our defense. He's getting us off the field, helping us get off the field, but he's leader. He's taking a leadership role.
Yeah, we'll talk about that play a lot because there's a huge play in the game. I mean, making that stop on 3rd down. The
beautiful
TJ
Edwards led the team in tackles.
Yes,
on fire.
Some of the plays, if you go back and you watch the game and you see some of the plays he made, making a play where everybody's gapped out and now you're coming downhill and you're making a tackle in the hole, well, that's simple. When you have to beat a guy, when you have to beat your block to make a play, like he had to do 3 or 4 times in that game, that is a huge play, because if he doesn't, that runner is still running, right? Like, those are huge plays that I saw him make, and he is athletic enough. He has that feel for the game. He's a great pickup, and I'm glad he's on our team.
There was a 3-step drop, and I want to say it was a 2-by-2 spread, and the receiver released. His technique was great, where he was able to put his hand on the receiver. The receiver tried to break on an out route, and because of his position, the quarterback had to go to the outside guy. He had to go to the outside guy, which he really didn't want to do. They want to play the linebacker, because they feel like if you have a receiver on a linebacker, we like that. Yeah. We like that one-on-one. But he had to go to the outside guy where our corner was playing discipline, and they couldn't get the ball out. They couldn't convert on the pass. So I love that. I understand the technique really well, and I love the way he played it. He played it perfect, and that's makes it very difficult for our offense.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, even for a fan that knows it on a very surface level, we've been trained to see the cover 2 defense, right? This has been going on since the Lovie days. So here we are, cover 2 defense again, and you really feel like with the talent around, it's starting to shine through, because everybody's able to stay in their landmarks, stay in their gaps, stay where they're supposed to be, and let the ball come to them and attack, right? You're seeing this. And the biggest question was how this defensive line was going to generate a pass rush, because it all starts there, right? And what did you think, Alex, of Darrell Taylor? Because he just got here like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And this guy, I think he won like 50% of his pass rushes on the day. Like he dominated, honestly, in the second half.
I mean, we experienced this last year too, right? When Sweat came.
Right.
Just because you changed cities, that don't mean you forgot how to do your job. Right. So he changed cities, but the kid still can rush the quarterback.
Yep.
He still can beat a one-on-one block. And if we have that pressure up the middle, which prevents that quarterback from stepping up, now he becomes more effective because now he gets a strip sack. He can get that ball off the quarterback, and those are the things that we need. Those are the things that changes ball games, right? Strip sack, scoop, score, those type of things that changes football games or changes the momentum completely. So, he was really good. Sweat was really good. The interior of the defensive line was really good, whether it was Dexter or
Billings.
I
love Billings.
Really
man.
good. They were active, right? They were active.
He gets in the backfield too.
Yeah, he does.
He ain't just
He's
a
big
run
boy,
plugger, man.
He's a big boy that he got a little agility to him. You know, he got some shake to him.
Yeah, for sure.
He got some shake
like
to him.
a little Keith Tractor trailer in his game. Huh?
Well, I mean,
80 yards down the sideline.
that rumble and stumble of man,
more stumble than rumble there, buddy.
He was Keith, man. Shout out to Keith. And I don't want to miss this one because Coach Washington, being a DC for the first time, getting his first win. You know, like he was an assistant defensive line coach when we were playing here. He was awesome. He's very detailed.
Yeah,
super quiet. Right? He was super quiet, and now he can't be quiet. You're the DC. You can't be quiet now. And I know he's a little bit out of how he really wants to be.
Comfort zone.
Right. And to get this team, to get this defense to bite back, right, after that first half, was awesome to see, and just knowing that how he is and how he coaches. It was great to see. You know, it was great to see. So I'm shout out to Coach Washington.
Coach E.
And Coach Washington was coach to Corey Wooten on the college level and the pro level. So he's been speaking volumes of the impact he has on players and how he's going to make sure he challenges these guys to be better, because we didn't even see Austin Booker today, right? So, you know, he gets a chance to develop when you got guys like Darryl Taylor that are able to come in and make an impact like they did today. We got a super chat here coming in, and I want to remind everybody here that's tuned in, if you guys got questions for Lance Briggs or Alex Brown,
hold back.
Don't hold back. Get your super chats in, and when we get to the back half here, we'll make sure we answer all of them, but we'll answer Jason McKenna's right now, $5 super chat. And so based on your linebacker experience here, Lance, is RD, well, you can also answer it, Alex, but, you know, he said linebacker experience, said, is RD better? I'm not going to answer it. Is RD better with the reality of the Roquan trade? Lance.
Well, our defense, is it? Yes, I believe so. You know, you have Roquan, who's he's a top 2, top 3 linebacker in the NFL, you know, right now. However, we get Edmonds, we get Edwards out of that trade, and I think together they are equally as good, you know. So I especially in this defense and how they fit, Edwards is, you know, his play has just it's been inclining, you know, since the moment I want to say probably since Eberflus took over that defense, and he's been flying around making play after play, and his play as a weak side linebacker has been outstanding. I believe he was the 10th. He was 10th on the list for outside backers last year. He moves up. He moves up this year based if he can continue to play the way he played today.
You get a guy like Edwards and playing at as high a level as he's playing. And Roquan, as great as he is, and I think Roquan is a really, really good linebacker, but I think he's really good in a 3-4.
Correct.
I think 3-4 is totally different than a 4-3. It's like when you change the defense, y'all have to understand that everything changes. I mean, everything changes. I'm not playing defensive end in a 3-4. I'm not. I'll be a stand-up linebacker.
Correct.
That's where I would be. Sweat, if he were trying to play defensive end in a 3-4, Sweat's a little different because
he could play nose.
He probably could
play nose in a 4-3.
He's a little different. But when you got a 3 technique, like we've been looking, like we look at Dexter and we look at Billings, and they're not your typical 4-3 type of guys. But I mean, we're talking about Tommy Harris. Like Tommy Harris and Tank Johnson, these guys come out. They come out of college at 290. They ran 4.6, 4.7. Like this is what a 3 or this is what a 4-3 type of tackle looks like. And I'm telling you, the Bears they're still looking for that guy. They want that guy because we're talking about the heartbeat of a 4-3 defense. When all the ones you go back and look
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, Aaron Donald. You look at Warren Sapp, right? You look at that middle linebacker or that will linebacker, Lance Briggs. You look at Derek Brooks, and then you got that safety, whether it's Lynch, whether it's Mike Brown, Chris Harris. Like you have a player at every level, right? So and you need that in a 4-3. When Lovie was at the Rams, Grant Wistrom, they went and got Damian Williams, I want to say, out of Miami, to play that 3 technique. You had their linebacker, the big boy. Yeah, you got Little played in, but the middle linebacker they had, and then you got a guy in the secondary. You have to have the levels. If you don't have it, you're
Aeneas Williams. He had Aeneas Williams when he first got there. I think he had Aeneas.
At Arizona, right?
He was at St. Louis before he went to Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like you need that, and I think they're still looking for it. So you say you don't see Booker. You don't see Booker. Well, they just went and got Taylor. They got exactly what they want.
Right.
Exactly what they want in that rusher from that side. That's your boy. You know, that's your boy. I ain't playing the best. See, Wale, and I know you're gonna watch this, Wale. And I've been telling you for years. that right tackle is not as athletic as that left tackle. So when you over there on that right side and you got to deal with them boys, just understand the best players from the offensive line standpoint.
What side did Willie Rowe play on?
Yeah. Why you bringing up stuff, man?
Whoa!
Like, that hurt.
I was out of his breath. Holy!
I kind of got scared. I kind of got scared. Hey, Willie Rowe played the left tackle. Big boy out of Seattle.
I know you're talking about it. I have his helmet. I have the guy's helmet. I have the helmet.
You got Orlando Pace.
His helmet fits me like my sons did when he was 3-year-old putting on my helmet. It just,
I'm telling you, man, these boys like really, really good. So the left tackle is you need that speed guy. I think Taylor's a perfect fit for that position.
Yeah, well, when we're talking about Roquan Smith, my mom texted me the other night on the opening night when Roquan got the interception. She texted me, my lovely mother, why did we give up Roquan Smith? And I texted her back, do not question Ryan Polzer, you're out of the family. Like, come on, Mom, not right now. We don't need this negative energy week one. But no, I love you, Mom.
He's a good player. Yeah. Like, he's a good player. Like, Mom, sometimes we can't keep all the good players. I mean, we traded away the tight end, Greg Olsen.
Yep.
Like, we traded him away because sometimes they just don't fit with what we're trying to do. Yeah. That mean they're not a good player or a great player. I mean, you got Roosevelt Colvin left, right?
Yeah.
Ted Washington left. They both went to New England, won Super Bowls there. That mean they're not good players. They're still good players. It's just what you're trying to do in your particular scheme, they don't fit. I mean, if you go back, like let's go back to 2000. Let's go back to 2000 when Urlacher was at Sam linebacker.
Right.
And everybody was wondering, why in the world would you draft a linebacker out of New Mexico? And you move him 6 feet to the right. He's a bust where you have him, or a potential bust. And then you move him 6 feet to the right as a Hall of Famer. You got to put the man in a position to amplify their talent, right? I think that is the coach's job, in my opinion.
What other guy was a bad fit?
Say again?
Name another player that was a bad fit.
A bad fit.
Bad fit on the Bears defense.
Alex Brown. When y'all when I first got here, our defensive ends were 295 pounds, and Phillip Daniels and Brian Robinson was 300 pounds. Yeah, I'm not a good fit for that. Why did you pick me? To make me gain weight? And then I was required to get up over 280 pounds.
How did you do that?
McDonald's, baby. McDonald's. Hit that McDonald's on the way to work. Hit that McDonald's on the way back. Just before I eat dinner, my lovely wife cooking dinner. Just before I eat dinner, yes. But I'm eating everything. I'm like, I blew up. And then I get questioned by the GM, Mr. Jerry Angelo. Get questioned, hey, what happened to all that quickness you had at Florida? I gained 35 pounds since I've been here. Shoot, like, what are you talking about?
That's
yes.
hilarious.
So I wasn't a good fit until Lovie came. When Lovie came, it put me back to the weight I was at when I was in college. And then I started to play a lot better. Not that I didn't have splashes or like flashes of greatness. You know what I mean? Greatness. I'm going to use the word greatness.
There you go.
I think the New York Giants game in 2004 was that was greatness. 4-sack performance, but like I didn't feel like a good player. I was too heavy. So yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because this is a fit question that a lot of fans are wondering, and it's that 3 technique, right? With Gervon Dexter. Gets a sack today. What did you guys see from him today? You know, I know we'll have a chance to look at the tape and really dial into the individual, but his leverage is always, you know, and is he going to get low, right? Those are the things, his get off. Those are things we constantly hear with him, but he was able to get to the quarterback and make an impact in today's game. What did you guys see?
One of the things that I saw, Alex, now you can correct me if you saw something different, is when they got into that, what we would call our green front, you know, which was a pass down. I saw, you know, the nose move to the 3, so we had 2 3s. I saw the nose move over to the nose, you know, so they moved them around depending on what it was and so on. When they were both in the 3s, I thought that one of them would have that would utilize the 2-way go, but they both shot those B gaps. You know, whether it worked or whether it didn't. I saw a lot of movement up front, and they were trying different things that they thought would work. Whether it worked or not, I like seeing that stuff. You know, as a football player and coach, it gives you ideas.
I saw a couple things on the defensive line. What Lance is talking about when you got 3 defensive linemen on one side of the center, and you got that nose playing on, let's say, the right side of the center, and for the most part, you know he's going to cross the face of the center because you want to be balanced rushing.
Come back over.
What I did see and I really loved was that sometimes he'd shoot that A-gap, and then that 3 technique would work his way around him, right? So it just give him something a little different to look at, which what it did, having those 3 over there just ensured that – insured? You
got it.
Yeah, insured.
So it's insured.
Insured.
It's definitely insured.
No, it's not. Stop.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
So it definitely ensured that you'd get that one-on-one blocking from the left tackle on our right defensive end. When you do that, when you put those 3 over there, they could turn the protection, but if they know you're going to come back or work back, now those games in the middle are going to work really well if they turn the protection to those 3 linemen on that side. So you got a chance there, and I like how they were playing that. It was good to see them switch it up. So and give Sweat, do your best to get your best pass rusher, your best defensive lineman one-on-one blocking.
Yep.
That's what you want.
Right.
That's what you want. The best thing you can ask for as a defensive lineman in the NFL is one-on-one blocking.
I thought it was hilarious on Thursday night watching Chris Jones walk up to the line of
gosh.
scrimmage and go, "No, I'm coming over here. I want this guy.
Yes.
This is my guy."
Yeah.
You know, like the water boy moment. There's my guy.
Love it.
Yes.
That's my guy.
Because
you know?
when you do that, you better damn win. Because
Seriously, he's like,
you
"Get
can't
over
call
here,
the
I'm
guy
going
out
here."
because he see that. He's in his stance, and he see it like, no. Hey, you get over here. I'm going to go right here. And when you don't win, when you don't win,
that's demoralizing.
it's like, oh, damn. Like, okay. I just called this guy out, and he just body slammed me.
Right.
Let's think about it. Like, these guys everybody's in the NFL, so everybody's good. It's just like some people are not as good as others, I guess, but there's a floor to it, you know? There's a floor. Like, people aren't going to be – it's not going to be – I'm going to use the SEC. It's not going to be Vanderbilt, then Georgia. Nah, it's not going to be that – it's not going to be that drastic,
right,
you know?
right.
So you just got to win when you do that. So when you're as good as he is, I mean, shit,
you can call out who you want.
Well, we're always winning here at CHGO Bears. It's the Briggs and Brown show, the debut show here at CHGO Bears. It's a sweet, sweet day here with a miracle Bears win. And I want to give everybody a quick reminder here. Coming up on week 3 against the Indianapolis, when the Bears take on the Indianapolis Colts, we are going to be live at Joe's on Weed Street. If you came out for our draft party here earlier this year, it was unbelievable atmosphere. We're going to be back there again doing live pregame, postgame, Briggs and Brown shows. We're going to be doing all sorts of stuff. Bears memorabilia giveaway, Miller Lite on hand. So go to allchgo.com/events. Get your tickets. Come on out to Joe's on Weed Street, September 22nd. Pregame starts at 11 a.m. We're going to be having a lot of fun.
What time are you going to get there?
Shoot. Well, guess what time I was at the tailgate this morning? Can you guys guess?
At least 4:45.
You got it.
4:45. I know how these tailgates
That's
work
how
out
we
here.
roll. We were
I'm
setting
sorry.
up shop.
Wait, 4:45 what?
A.M. Tailgate.
And you know what?
Tailgate.
And you know what? Because I got the knee thing. My wife, shout out to her, Jenny. She came with at 4:45 a.m. to help set up.
What time would you have your first drink?
See, I didn't drink today. So last year at the tailgates, I was drinking, but I was like, we got a big day today, and I got to make sure. Like, my biggest goal was to not scare you guys. Anybody that watches this show knows that I'm a complete nut job here at CHGO. I'm the resident crazy person. So I was like, I cannot scare these guys the first day on the job. So, you know, out of respect and make sure I did right by you guys today, I did not have any drinks, but maybe at the next tailgate I might get one or two.
I need one of those days.
Right.
I don't have a drink.
Yeah. I might have had a coat.
It's pretty tough to wake up in the morning to scare this guy or that guy here.
I might have had a cigar or two. We got a $100 super chat that just came in from Joseph Evans. So we're going to hit that one up here right now. And then after that, we'll get to some special teams talk, get to the rest of your super chats. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Please hit that like button. Joseph Evans, $100 super chat. I'll miss the football after show. Certainly legendary. You guys did an incredible job there. Matt Forte, David Kaplan, Lawrence Holmes. Shout out to those guys. This is a perfect landing spot on CHGO for Lance and Alex. Congratulations. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We think so too. Appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you landed yourself on CHGO. Let's bring some more with you.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
That's
hey,
awesome.
the more
Thank
the
you.
merrier.
Thank you, sir.
We're building something special here at CHGO Bears Brick by Brick. So let's get into the special teams talk, because at the end of the day, special teams won this day.
Yes.
You know, it started with DeAndre Carter getting some really nice returns. Then you get the block punt for a touchdown. You know, Torrey Taylor, it maybe wasn't his best day. You know, like everybody's waiting for him to pin it at the one. But at
Wasn't
the end of the
Bayless's
day,
either.
right, Bayless, that's the thing we got to get to, right?
Yes.
So there were some mistakes that started, but special teams won it at the end. Let's start with the mistakes, because Velus Jones, obviously fans are very concerned about this guy. He's costed this team a few football games here in the last couple of years, so his margin of error, what his allowance is on fumbling the football, is slim. So what are you guys' thoughts, man, because he dropped another one today?
Oh, you want me?
Go ahead. 'Cause I know it's going to be.
I'm a finale
Oh,
type
you going
of.
to spit fire.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, he's gone. I'm
Gone.
sorry. It's over. I think what he's gonna do, even if he doesn't know this, I hope he does. Just because you make the 53 on this Sunday doesn't mean you're gonna be here next Sunday. Because making the 53, you can make the 53 and you can be Lance Briggs and be number 2 out of that 53. Like, he has no shot. He walking by the Turk. He ain't the guy that cut people.
The Turk.
He
We
walking
call
by
him the
them.
Turk.
We call him Turk. Like, if he walking by, he ain't paying no attention. Or you can be number 52, where you walking by him kind of like, I don't know, but I hope he don't call me today.
You're checking checking the special teams, see if you still on the first depth or the second depth.
Yes.
'Cause you find yourself on the third depth and you're at the end of training camp. Snip, snip.
We saw this, so I'm gonna go back to Nagy days when 2018,
Okay.
and we saw the kicker during the season. He hit the upright, and they go down to Miami. He missed 2. I think he hit the upright. One of those, and we're sitting in there. We're
Lions game, 4 uprights.
yes. So now, and then we're sitting there. We're like, this shit's gonna bite us in the ass at some point.
Correct.
And then we got to the playoffs, and it bit us in the butt. Now, you playing against a team in a one-possession game, and Velus goes out and has a Velus moment, you're going to lose that football game because good teams will capitalize on that.
Right.
The good teams capitalize on your mistakes.
Not playing the Titans every week.
You're not playing the Titans, and you're definitely not playing the Titans in the playoffs.
Yep.
That it won't be the Titans. It will be Detroit. And if you think Detroit ain't going to turn that game, a 14-10 game, they score, and they kick the ball. This wasn't a damn punt. It's a kickoff. They score a touchdown.
He kicked it back to them.
And he kicked it back to him. Like, they score a touchdown. Let's just for the sake of a scenario, you're up 10-7. Detroit scores a touchdown, take them to 14-10. You're down now. Velus has a Velus moment. They get the ball back. Now it's 21-10. Think about that. In the course of 3 minutes? Because of something that you've seen in the past, get rid of it. It's over. I'm done. We're trying to win a championship. If you're not helping that cause, you should be gone. Period.
Yep.
That's it.
Lance?
I agree. We've been talking about Velus for too many years now.
Yes.
I think that's the issue. We've been talking about him for too many years. We've seen guys come in and not make the squad, and somehow, some way, this guy continues to somehow slip by, and the things that the problems that we have with Velus is one of the issues that the Detroit Lions had for years. You know, when we play them, listen, the one thing, they might keep it close, but the Lion's going to line at some point. They're going to line,
Yes.
you know? And Velus is going to veil him. He's going to veil us. Velus is going to veil us, and he's proven to do that consistently each year.
Right.
Whether he got better during the year or not, he has consistently shown who he is as a football player each year.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because after the game, Eberflus was like, I'm proud of the way Velus finished. And to your point about Parkey, I mean, that's what Nagy did, right?
Yes.
Like, he kept trying to, speak this positivity into existence instead of recognizing what's slapping you in the face every Sunday. Correct. And at the end of the day, it is going to cost them a football game. And that is something that's got to be on their mind, but they just keep seeing this talent. I mean, heck, he makes the mistake in the first half. He gets the first handoff in the second half as the running back. He made a nice play. Credit to him. At the end of the game, when they're trying to seal the deal, they throw him a screen pass to the right, and he gets upfield 9 yards. Hey, again, credit to him. I was sitting over there. I go, I made a pact to not – last year I fired Matt Eberflus probably 6 times on our post-game shows because I was just losing my mind. And I made a pact to not do that this year. I was like, all right, we're going to reset this whole process for 2 years. He threw that ball to Valles. I go, if Valles had fumbled there, I'm firing Matt Eberflus on the postgame because you can't blame Valles. They keep putting him in this position. Yep. Like, at the end of the day, it's now incumbent on the coaches to not put the team in a position where a guy like that's going to make the mistake when he's shown it time and again. Cody Parkey, same thing. Yeah, you could blame Cody Parkey. You could also blame the GM and the coach for keeping him
putting him out there.
Yeah.
So
that was something that Lovie did. He did it a number of times to me, and it didn't feel good. Like, it's one of those things.
What did he do to you? What did Lovie do to you?
He walk up to you and he's like, you know what? And he put an arm around you. You know what, big fella? That's my fault. That's my fault. I keep putting you out there. I'm sorry. Because you go out there and you mess up, right? You go out and you do something wrong. You do a wrong play, or you run. Like, in practice, you call this defense. I do the wrong thing. And then you get in the game, coach calls this defense. I do the wrong thing. He comes over to you, put it arm around you. Hey, big guy. That's my fault. That's my fault, big guy. Like that. And at that point, boy, hey, right's on the wall now. The right on the wall, you better straighten up. Or it's a wrap.
Yeah.
So, and this is where I think where you're going with this, it has to go on the coaches. At some point, you keep putting these guys out there. You see they can't do it. Mm-hmm. Like, are they doing it at practice? When the live bullets ain't going, well, they're not doing it in the game. Right. I'd rather a guy that don't do it at practice and do it in the game.
And then you can also go like, hey, I'll build a statue for Ryan Poles right now for how he's turned this team around the last couple of years. But at the same time, it also goes on Ryan because the buck stops with him because these coaches obviously see something in Valles. Like you saw Chad Morton on the Hard Knocks go, there's nobody in this building that I want to fight for harder than Valles Jones. That's how much they like this guy. They want to make it happen. Well, the GMs then got to take that out of their, decision making and go, well, sorry guys, I know you like him, but we're sending him to the practice squad. So they did that last year at one point.
That's money ball, cuz. That's money ball. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't just go as a GM. You can't pull the trump card and just say, you know what? The hell with what you say.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what? You're going to have to play somebody else today. You know why?
I got him too.
Because Lance Briggs is now Arizona Cardinal. Like, what? No, you can't. As a GM, you got to – this is something you have to – that's turmoil in the building.
Well, depending on what year.
Craziness in the building.
That could have been all right depending on what year. I think, 09, they went to the Super Bowl? Shoot.
Yeah, it's true. But I just don't see the GM going in and just – Ryan Poles, he's done a hell of a job. A hell of a job with what he's had to work with, even the first year, right? When he first got here, there's no chance anybody watching him, I definitely didn't think so, that he had a shot of getting a guy like Brisker. With the draft picks that we had, I think we had 4 draft picks that year. And he got Brisker, he got Gordon. Like, you got guys that are playing, starting on a top defense. Yeah. A few years later, they are like big parts. They're parts of the team. Of this defense.
They've gotten better.
He just didn't have the firepower, and then you kind of got the feeling like if we ever get to the point where he has the draft picks, he's gonna do a hell of a job with it. Yep. And I think he has. Yep. I think he's done a great job. There's still work to be done, right? Of course. And even if you win the Super Bowl, like you look at teams like Kansas City, they won the Super Bowl. They went and got that kid Worthy. Like, there's always ways you can get better, right?
But they also they bolstered their defense. Their defense really carried them last year, and then you bring in offensive weapons. To me, it's like they're going back and forth, go back and forth. You know what I mean? And there's a pattern there that might end up being the trend. Where we're bolstering we're putting our money toward our offense this year. Or next year, we're putting our money toward our defense, and each one has to carry a little bit more weight that year, and we complement each other in that way. As long as we have this quarterback, we know that we can surround him with some weapons next year. We'll have to let loose with some this year, but we're going to pay to our defense. Our defense is going to carry us, and our offense will keep us in games.
Yep, 100%. I mean, Ryan Poles has got a first-round pick and 2 second-round picks, and one of those is the Panthers, and they got the brakes beat off them today, so that might be the 33rd pick in the draft.
That's going to be the top pick in the second round.
Can that be the number 1 pick in the draft again? That was fun last year. I liked how that worked out. We got about 10 minutes left here on the Briggs and Brown show, the debut show here at CHGO Bears, here after a miracle Bears win on the lakefront. And we got some big shows here coming up. Once again, tomorrow, Mark Carman will be in studio with these guys once again. Lance Briggs will be giving his professor grades here coming out. The much anticipated grades from Professor Briggs. Both my parents were teachers, so they're going to be looking forward to that segment. And then on Thursdays, Briggs and Brown show is going to be here streaming live on CHGO Sports. So make sure you subscribe to our channel. I'll be producing in the background. These guys are just going to be gripping and ripping it. And it's been an electric factory all day with you guys in studio.
Awesome.
Love the energy you guys are bringing to what we're doing here. With all the media guys, we got to get some fire and intensity around here. When the game days are going on, me and Jake are always wanting to run through these brick walls during the Bears game. So let's get to the Super Chats law before we put a bow on this show. It's been a lot of fun here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button once again. Mark C, $9.99 Super Chat. Great show. We appreciate you, Mark, tuning in. Craig Leach, $20 Super Chat. I feel like CHGO has won the media draft with 2 top-tier picks with Briggs and Brown.
Hey, Craig, who was the first pick?
You know doggone well. You know doggone well.
You got 2 first rounders, but who was the
first
round? We don't know.
Who was the number 9
I'm asking Craig.
You got 2 picks here, all right?
I'm asking Craig.
You got 2 picks here.
Come on, Craig.
One's top 10. One was top 10. One was just outside the first round.
He said 2 top-tier picks.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's 2 first rounders. That's all I'm saying.
We had one Will Levis. All right. And we had one Caleb Williams.
Come on. Hey, Roma Dunze and Caleb Williams were doing all right with 2 top 10 picks here. So Craig Leach said, you two know who, both of you.
Appreciate it, Craig.
We appreciate you, Craig, as always. Larry Strickland coming in hot, $10 Super Chat. Glad to have you guys here. Can someone tell me how the tight end for Tennessee had that touchdown count? He didn't get both feet down.
He got a knee down. So in NFL, one knee, an elbow counts as 2 feet. All right, so that's why. He didn't get 2 feet in, you're right. But once that knee hit, he's in.
A butt cheek or a knee?
Right. Butt cheek, counts as 2 feet. It's weird. It is. I don't know why, but it's the rules.
If you cut his knee off, he doesn't score.
You don't need 2 butt cheeks to be down, just one.
Correct.
Just one.
Just one. So, Eric Collins, $2 Super Chat. Walter Jones at Seattle was the guy you were looking for.
Listen, the best left tackle I've ever seen, ever played against.
Walter Jones?
Walter Jones. He was a monster. If you had him on Madden, in my opinion, he's 99 pass blocking. He's 99 run blocking. That's him. He's unbelievable. He's crazy.
And how'd you do against him?
Oh, I got a couple sacks now. Come on.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. There you go.
They got a couple. Come on. I got a couple.
Dude, there you go. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, because Tommy them ran the quarterback out of the pocket, and I'm locked up over here, and he runs into my arm.
That's a Hasselback, huh? Hasselback, right?
That's a Hasselback scramble. He like this, and he'll roll out, and he roll right into me. And then Walter, on one of them, legit, Walter's like, hey, you know that didn't count. I be damn, that count. That count, big dog. I'm sorry.
Excited to hear stories like this all season long here at CHGO Bears with the Briggs and Brown Show. Quentin Guzman, $5 Super Chat. Hey, Briggs, who do you think will fit perfectly on the Bears at D-tackle coming out of college in 2025? Have you done your draft? He's already wanting you to hit the draft. Week 1, he's already got you looking
I love where your head's at. That is a question we're going to table for now. All right, table for now because we're going to get to that. We are going to cover all of that as we get closer to the end of this year.
How about that monster at Nebraska last night?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I was looking at that dude. I was like, dude, what are they feeding this guy?
There's a tackle at Michigan, all right, who's been starting on that defensive line since he was a freshman.
Graham?
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's from Servite High School in California. He played with the two starters that are at U of A right now, Fafita and McMillan. And obviously he's at Michigan, they're at Arizona, but the kid is an absolute stud. You know, he's somebody that when he's ready to come out, you're going to have to look out for him.
How about the dude from ASU last night with the big man touchdown who he like toe tapped it, jumped over the TV?
We're giving them airtime, huh? We're giving them airtime. We got to talk about little scummy dudes.
Upgrade for the Bears, all right? It's really good. All right, James Barris, $10 super chat as we start to wrap things up here for the Briggs and Brown show. For both Lance and Alex, what was it like playing for Lovie, and what do you think his legacy is in Chicago?
I guess I'm going first. Huh?
Go ahead.
You know what? Playing for Lovie was a hell of an experience for me because I was on a team in a locker room that I shared with a lot of men that I had a ton of respect for. You know, and I know if you ask any of them, you know, when we played on that field, the one thing that always stood out in the way that I played is I played for the man next to me. You know what I mean? And I wasn't going to miss this tackle or miss this play or hit this guy or take out two when I only had to take out one because I wanted the guy next to me to make that play. I wanted to do as best I can at my job so that I make the job easier for the guys that were next to me, you know, and it was also evident when those guys made the play. You know, I was always one of the first there celebrating with those guys, you know, and there was a culture that was there where you have six defensive coaches that are yelling to us to get to the ball and to punch the ball out, take it away, you know, don't leave a ball on the ground, pick it up. We got to score. You know, you just don't hear that. You might hear it from one coach. You might hear it from two. You don't hear it from all of your coaches at the same time every snap.
Every snap.
So
everything Lance is saying, as far as playing under Coach Lovie Smith, he was unbelievable. He played a defense I think both of our skill sets just thrived in. It couldn't have been more perfect. But for me personally, the teaching part where he never stopped teaching. He was always teaching, always wanted to get better. He always wanted the defense to be better. And I remember going in after, I want to say it was the 2004 season, and he asked me about my position and what's my job, and that's playing that C-gap and how can I play that better, right? And if I can close off the B-gap, because Lance, we typically played on the same side of the defense. And Lance has the B-gap. And I'm like, well, I got the C-gap. I mean, I could close him down a little bit, but he's like, well, how about this? What if you close that C-gap off, that B-gap off completely, right? So you take that offensive lineman and you put him in that B-gap, so there's no B-gap. Now, you still got your C-gap, but now we got a really, really good football player behind now. He don't have to really worry about that B-gap. He can roam, and now we got two crazy athletic linebackers that can go wherever they want to.
Right.
And it's just by you doing your job a little bit better, and it makes this defense so much better, right? So, and just that teaching part, just always trying to squeeze a little bit more out of that orange, right? Or like trying to get a little bit more. And I love that about him because he was about perfection, and whatever he believed in, he was always on you about it. Always on you.
Challenge.
And he truly, in my opinion, I think he truly cared about his players.
Yep.
And he truly cared.
And you still hear about him calling and checking in on you guys. Like,
But now, as far as his legacy, that was just playing for him. Right. As far as his legacy, I think it'll continue to grow. Yep. Because he is directly responsible for Caleb Williams.
Yes.
So as Caleb Williams, if they win a Super Bowl, I don't care if it's a small percentage of that. No. It will be credited
to his legacy. It's a very big percentage. That was a miracle.
No doubt.
Miracle win.
It was.
And you talk about Moneyball. They could have pulled him off the sideline to not coach that the end of that game, and he played to win, and that helped the Bears get the number one pick and laid all this groundwork.
With the GMs telling you you're getting fired after this game.
Yes.
Right. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's
let me
do
show
what he
you
does.
something. And then you know what? Ironically enough, it worked out for both the
100%.
Bears and the Texans.
Yep.
So,
100%.
yeah, I mean, we're wrapping things up here at the Briggs and Brown show. I will say this, too, when you talk about what you guys did under the Lovie Smith era, and for you two personally, I think the embodiment of what your legacy is with the Bears. You talked earlier about rookies in their first game. Well, I remember Aaron Rodgers coming to Soldier Field in his first ever game. It was the coldest game in Soldier Field history.
Mm-hmm. What happened in that game?
You got a forced fumble down the sidelines. You and Urlacher running a guy down when he would have just ran out. All he had to do was run out of bounds.
Right.
But you guys finished the play, got the ball out. Ball somehow stays in bounds. Tim Jennings falls on it.
Yes.
And then it goes to overtime. And guess who blocks the field goal to win the game or send the game to overtime? Send the game to overtime, and then the Bears end up winning in overtime on a field goal.
That? Wait a minute, who did that?
Alex Brown.
Oh, okay. I was just
blocking the field goal.
Watching news.
Yeah. For those of you that didn't tune in, legendary
got some
Bears
youngins
game.
on here. They might not have saw it.
Well, my wife and I were in the stands for that game.
White gloves.
Yeah.
It's cold,
the
man.
coldest game in recorded Soldier Field history.
So cold.
And you two, like, that was a big moment. And I just, that's what it's all about. And hopefully this team can start to make moments like that. Today was a big step in that direction of making. I mean, you talk about one of the best week one, like craziest week one, most memorable week one wins. And now they all get to kind of live in that, learn from it, move on to next week. Let's see what they do against the Texans. So we got all sorts of shows coming up all week long, Monday through Friday at noon. We got Bears After Dark with Corey Wooten tomorrow night. The Briggs and Brown show coming up on Thursday. They'll also be in studio tomorrow with Mark Carman. So many things planned. And then we got game day coming up next Sunday. So make sure you stick here with us here at CHGO Bears. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button on your way out. Lance, Alex, welcome to the family.
Ready to rock and roll.
You guys coming in. It's going to be a fun season. So,
hey, Chubb, I'm with you, baby. We won. I'm happy as hell too, man.
We won.
Hey, we can win another 16 just like that. Well, not 16 because we need the playoffs in the Super Bowl. So
let's just win. We don't need it to look like it did. Yeah, right. We don't need to look. Just win.
Okay, fine.
Flip it on. Hey, they were prohibitive favorites this week. Next week, nobody's going to be picking them. Good. I like them in that spot.
There we go.
Nobody believes you guys anymore. Let's show them what you got next Sunday. All week to break it down. Can't wait for it. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at noon. Mark Carman, Lance Briggs, Alex Brown, Herb Howard will also be joining them as well from It's the Bigs. So make sure you tune in for all the great content we bring here at CHGO Bears. Until then, enjoy your victory Monday, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Bear down.
Yes, sir.
We all silly like the mayor.